I learned so much in my 1 year of being a support worker than I did in my 3 years of being an undergraduate. Hello everyone, welcome to PsychAssist. Like if you're liking this. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode of PsychAssist. I've got an amazing episode for you guys. It's what to do if you've got a 2-2 undergraduate degree. So let's go. But before we start this video, please, if you're watching this now, click that subscribe button. Please just do it now. Click it. I'll wait. Just click it. Like now. Click it now. Now. Yeah, okay, cool. Now, we probably get, in a week, about 15 messages from psychology graduates saying, PsychAssist, I've got a 2-2 undergraduate degree, my life's over, no one's ever going to take me on for a psychology job, so there's no point in me doing anything, so I might as well give up now. We're here to tell you that you're wrong. There's so much that you can do with a psychology degree, even though you've got a 2-2. All that means is that the journey's just a little bit harder for you just because of your 2-2, but there are ways that you can get around that and get that all-important career job, and we're going to show you how. But before we get into it, I want everyone that's watching this, because if you've got a 2-2 and you're watching this right now, I want you to stop and think. Usually there's a reason why you got a 2-2, and often that reason is your heart's just not in it. So what I would say to you psychology graduates that are watching this that have got a 2-2 is really think about, is this a career that you want to get into? Because this career is long and hard, and I don't want you in 3 years time to think, it's a waste of time, I don't really want to do this. So stop and think, do you really want to pursue a career in psychology? I would strongly recommend to take 3 to 4 months out. Let's say if you finish your third year around June time or like May, I would probably take the rest of the summer off. Go find something that you want to do. By the end of the summer, if you're still thinking psychology is for me and psychology is something that I want to do, then we can get started. Now let's get into some things that you can do, okay? Now I'm going to be very honest with you right now. If you're watching this and you've got a 2-2 and your dreams are to become a clinical psychologist or an educational psychologist or any psychologist that requires a professional doctorate, universities are going to look at you and think that you're not academically able. Now, I'm putting that in air quotes because I know that you are. Now, the thing that rectifies this and shows them that you are actually academically able is you're gonna have to do a master's. I know you're probably thinking, I've just spent 3 years at university, why would I want to do another year and do a master's? That's so much harder than an actual undergraduate degree. But the reason is, if you get 60% and over in your master's degree, your 2-2 is a thing of the past. They're not going to think about that because a master's is seen as higher than an undergraduate degree. So if you've got a 2-2 at undergraduate degree and you've got a distinction or a merit in a master's, they're going to look at that and say, yes, this person is academically able to go on to do the doctorate. Now, I'm going to be honest with you again. There are some snobby universities out there that will still reject you, even if you've got a master's, and even in some cases, if you've got a PhD. But that's just how some universities work. There are some universities out there that will say, if you've got a 2-2 and a master's, we will accept you. So my PsychAssist tip for this is, if you're looking to do professional doctorate in any division in psychology, have a look at their entry requirements. Because some of those universities do say, if you've got a 2-2, we will accept you if you've got a master's, or we will accept you if you've got a PhD. However, there are some universities out there that will still reject you if you've got a 2-2 and a master's and a PhD, and you're widely regarded as one of the experts in your field, they'll still reject you for your 2-2. But hey, we don't really like those universities. Now, before you start thinking, okay, I need to do a master's, I need to do this master's, or I need to do that master's, I want you again to stop and think, okay? I'll tell you a little story. A few weeks back, I spoke to a psychology graduate that she didn't really know what she was doing. She got a 2-2 and she thought, oh, I'll do a master's because a master's will show that I'm academically proficient. And she jumped into the first master's that she found. This turned out to be the biggest mistake of her life because she really didn't like a master's course. She was halfway through, so she couldn't drop out because she just paid so much money to do this master's course. But it's something that she didn't want to do. And because of that, she wasn't getting the grades that she felt that she could get. So that's why I say, stop and think. Really think about which master's course you want to do, because you don't want to jump into the first master's that accepts you and then end up regretting it later. Because if you do that, I guarantee you will not get the grade that you want. Now, for those like me that finished their undergraduate degree and thought, my head is fried, I don't want to keep sitting in a classroom and learning about psychology. I want to go out in the field and I want to experience what it's like to work in mental health. If you're like me, then I would suggest don't do a master's just yet. Now I'm saying just yet because in the future you will probably need a master's to really excel in psychology. But in the meantime, there are jobs that you can go into that will accept a 2-2. Now, most of you guys know that before I became an assistant psychologist, I was a support worker. Now, to be a support worker, they're not going to look at, has this person got a 2-1? Has this person got a 2-2? They're not going to see that. They're going to see, oh my God, this person's got a psychology degree. This is perfect. This is something, this is a person that we're looking for. And I guarantee, and I've said this in numerous videos, I learned so much in my 1 year of being a support worker than I did in my 3 years of being an undergraduate. I think the main message here as well is lower your expectations. I know a lot of psychology graduates that will finish their degree, regardless of what classification they got, and they'll think, I'm going to leave university and I'm going to get an assistant psychologist job. But the reality is that's not how things work. Now that you've got a 2-2, yes, it will be harder for you to get an assistant psychologist role, but it's not impossible. So what I'm saying is lower your expectations. Instead of looking at assistant psychologist jobs, start looking at support worker roles, healthcare assistant roles, because those types of jobs will help you build your experience, and that's the key thing, to build your experience. The second tip that we gave is, sadly, if you've got a 2-2, you're more than likely going to have to complete a master's degree. And the reason why we say that is, if you're planning to do a professional doctorate, a lot of the universities that facilitate those courses will see that you are not academically proficient if you've got a 2-2. But if you've got a master's, some universities will see that as a replacement of your 2-2. Oh, and a little tip as well. If you're a psychology graduate and you're watching this and you've got a 2-2 and you want to apply for a professional doctorate, our advice to you would be strategic. Look at which courses accept a 2-2 with a master's or PhD or whatever they ask for on top of your 2-2. Apply for those courses. There's no point in you applying for a university that specifically said, if you don't have a 2-1 or above, we will not accept you. There's no point in applying for those universities because they will not take you on. And I think the final thing I want you guys to know is, if you're watching this and you've got a 2-2, you might have just graduated or you might have graduated 10 years ago. It's still possible to get onto the doctorate. It's still possible to get that assistant psychologist role. There is still hope. I know so many psychology graduates that graduated with a 2-2, went away, got experience, came back, did a master's, and now they're clinical psychologists or now they're educational psychologists. It can happen. And that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for this month's episode of PsychAssist. I really hope that you've taken a lot of tips from this and you're on your way to applying it to yourself. We've just started an Instagram account as well, so it's going to be either here, it's going to be somewhere here, but follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out the PsychAssist website. That's www.psychassistblog.wordpress.com. We upload an article every Monday, which is absolutely amazing, and it's helped so many psychology graduates get to the next level of their career, and hopefully we want to do that for you. Also, if you're a psychology graduate or a psychology student that's watching this now and you want those little extra hints and tips on how you can get ahead, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and send us a message. We're always here to help, and we want to help you get to the next level. Thanks for watching PsychAssist. Like if you're liking this, and I'll see you next time.